Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Today we have some entitled parent stories, and our first story of the day is by California Old Timer. No, your bully of a son can't go on our private beach trip. Entitled Mother Abandons Her Child. So this takes place in the summer of 1975. At the time, my sons were 9 and 7. Also, they were in the Cub Scouts. Like most kids, they quickly made friends with the other kids, and as a dad, I made friends with the other dads that volunteered. Most of us got along well with the families, except for the entitled mother and her son. The mother was extremely clueless about her own son and basically refused to parent him. She was more into the lifestyle of a mom, being in mommy groups and spending her husband's money rather than being a good parent to her son. The dad was a good person, but worked a lot, so he was absent. Her 9-year-old son was a notorious bully. He was overly aggressive, he hit other children, stole items, and was extremely disrespectful towards other adults. When the other parents brought this up, she would make constant excuses for him. He's just a boy, he's just expressing himself. Your kid started it. What made it worse is that the entitled mother would pacify her son's behavior with sweets, toys, and other things that he wanted. Because of this, the other parents and I didn't invite the mother and her son to events that took place outside of Scouts. The entitled mother would often call our home about getting sleepovers or having her son play with our kids, which we were adamant about not happening. If we didn't give in, she said, "You're bullying my son by excluding him. How could you do that to a child?" She also threatened to call the governor for discrimination because she's a Baptist. So late June, the other parents and I were talking about a beach trip to Santa Cruz and bringing our families with us. We talked through everything among the 10 other moms and dads about planning this out. The entitled mother must have overheard what we were saying because she just came over with her son and said, "Can you take my son with you? I have something to do with my husband." I say, "What? Where?" She says, "To Santa Cruz." I say, no, you and your son are not invited. This is a friends-only trip." The entitled kid said, "You're a big meanie," kicked me in the leg and ran away. The entitled mother said, "Look what you did, child hater." She leaves and chases after him. Because this was a big trip, we decided to go shopping and hit the road on Friday. We had to do lots of shopping in bulk to reasonably feed 12 adults and 18 kids. My wife and I, along with 4 other parents, were watching the cars and keeping the kids occupied. For a brief moment, I turned my attention to my car to turn the AC up because my kids said that they were hot. I turn over, and the entitled boy is there with his bag and the mom peeling out in her station wagon. We're all just in shock, asking ourselves, is this really happening to us? The boy's mother gave him a note that had his allergies and an emergency phone number. We call, no answer. We can't leave the kid here alone, and we're not going to bring him with us, so we opted to call the police. We put the kid in the car to keep him out of the sun, and we made the call. We report entitled mother for the abandonment of her child. They sent an officer out in 15 to 20-ish minutes. The other parents and I go back to our cars to look out for the police. When we get back, entitled boy is pulling my 4-year-old daughter's hair. The reason why? The kids had some snacks in the cooler and didn't want to share them with entitled boy. What later proceeded as we were running to the car is 10 of the boys pulling the entitled boy off my daughter and proceeding to beat his butt. Now, the kids had 2 years of rage towards this kid bottled up inside, so what took place wasn't surprising. The entitled kid is bleeding. Crying, he says that we're all mean and started demanding food from us. He was cussing us out, hitting things, and said, "I want to go on the trip. I want to go on the trip. I want to go on the trip now." He kept parroting this over and over again. I yelled to him, "Shut up," which only made him cry more. Now, I will admit I was probably in the wrong here, but this is one of the few children I have truly hated in my life. The police arrived soon after and we explained what happened. Apparently, he was dropped off at his father's job. The mother received a child neglect charge. When she saw that our kids beat hers up, she tried to charge our kids for assault. It was dropped because it was self-defense. But all in all, my friends and our kids had a great week in Santa Cruz. If you wonder what happened to entitled mom and son, the mom is still married to the dad. We don't talk to her since our kids aged out of scouts. The son is a 55-year-old man-child who is a creep that tries to pick up college girls, and he neglects his 4 kids. If this was you and you saw entitled mom drop their kid off like that expecting to dump them on you, would you waste any time at all calling the police? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Hisoka the Magician, entitled Mother Attempts to Steal an Expensive Laptop. Backstory: basically, a new family moved into my neighborhood. The kid from the family was trying to introduce himself to other neighbors. This was in 2018, pre-COVID. I was playing Fortnite since I was bored of my other games and decided to try it out. I was playing Fortnite in my room when I heard a knock at the front door. My mom answered the door and my mom told me the conversation. Mom said, "Hi, can I help you?" Entitled kid said, "Yeah, I just moved in and I'm trying to make friends." Mom said, "Well, I have a son. He's playing video games upstairs. I'm sure he wouldn't mind." Entitled kid said, "Okay, cool, thanks." So he came up to my room and asked what I was doing. I said I was just playing some Fortnite. He asked if he could play and I said, "Yeah, sure, go for it." He played a couple of games when his mother came and knocked. My mom directed her to my room and went back to the kitchen as she was cooking dinner. I told him, "See you later." He seemed like a cool kid. The next day, my mom told me the kid called and asked if I wanted to come over, and I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I brought my laptop over to his house and he asked if we could play Fortnite again. I said, "Sure, sounds good." Then as he was playing, I needed to use the bathroom. As I was on the toilet, I overheard the kid and mother talking about my laptop. This happened 3 years ago, so this is how I remember their conversation. The entitled mother said, "Having fun?" The entitled kid said, "Yeah, the laptop is so cool and I can play Fortnite. I wish I had it." The entitled mother said, "Well, then we can keep it. He wouldn't mind anyway." The entitled kid says, "Really? Thanks, Mom." I was shocked when I heard this. I quickly finished up and came back. I said hi to his mom and said, "It's best if I start going." The mom hesitated and said, "No, stay, you're having fun." I said, "Yeah, but I best be off." The mom then locked the door and said, "You're not leaving with the laptop." I said, "What the freak do you mean? It's mine." Apparently the family was poor, in my opinion BS since they just moved into a house, and deserved a laptop so he can continue being a good student. I told her to go buy one. You can get a cheap laptop or a console which also runs games. She said, "You're such a loser. You don't need one. You're 15 and he's 13, so why do you care?" His mom wouldn't let me out until I gave them the laptop. I tried to force my way out, but then she threatened to hit me with a belt. I said, "For freak's sake, fine, take it." I pretended to give the laptop, then went to the bathroom and called the cops. Cops came around 5 minutes later and knocked hard. She panicked and opened the door shakily. I explained what happened and proved it was my laptop by the certificate in the computer. She was arrested for attempted kidnapping, abuse to a minor, and theft. Her son still gives me death stares. Crazy. His mother was taken to a mental hospital and the kid had to go to a foster family. I only saw him at school until he swapped foster families and moved away. Honestly, that was incredibly smart of them to go and lock themselves in the bathroom and call the cops up in that moment, mostly because they didn't give them the opportunity to go and stash the laptop, or really even have a situation where you're coming back to their place rather than they're already inside. Really helps sell the fact that they're trying to steal, kidnap, and abuse OP. This next story is by Stale Pancakes Takis, entitled "Dad Tries to Steal My Wallet." So I went out on a walk around the park. I saw a son and father there and I thought nothing of it. Eventually, I bumped into him and I said sorry. He said okay, and it looks like he put something in his pocket. I patted myself to see if I had my wallet, and I did not have it. Oh crap. So I go up with the entitled dad asking for my wallet and he refused. And the jerk gave it to his son, who was around 15 or 16. Then the dad went to the bathroom and BS and the son gave it to me. I thanked him and ran off. It was a bit anticlimactic. Good day and good morrow, Redditors. It's pretty sleazy that the dad tried to steal OP's wallet. and then hand it off and go to the bathroom to try and deny any plausibility. Good thing the kid has an actual brain and was willing to just give it over. I bet the dad was hoping the kid would keep the game going so they could try and get away with the wallet. Our next story is by Give Me the Stonks, entitled Mom Tries to Shoot My Eye Out at Paintball Park. So me and my dad, mostly me, are really into paintball. I got a GE04 and a new freak kit for my birthday, and I like to be comfortable when I'm playing, meaning I don't like to wear winter clothing while playing. My dad and I thought we should just wait for spring to roll around, meaning now. As my dad and I are entering the pro shop, Entitled Mother comes up to me and asks if I would go easy on Entitled Kid 1 and Entitled Kid 2. I say sure because I could tell that they were younger than me and that they were new to paintball. Me and my dad are filling up our pods and hoppers so we can start heading down to the field to play, but Entitled Mother came up to me and my dad to ask if we could give them some paint. The Entitled Mother asks, "Could we have a case or two of your paint, please?" I say, "Sorry, ma'am, but me and my dad are planning to use all of our cases of paint." My sweet dad says, "Jenny, we should be fine. We can always buy more if we need any more." The Entitled Mother says, "But they have so much paint, they aren't going to use all of it." Now, may I remind you that me and my dad are really into paintball, so we usually get 6 cases of paint to last us the whole day. My dad says, "If we have any left over at the end of the day, we will give the rest of the paint to you." Entitled Mother snarled at us in disgust like we just pissed on each other right in front of her. Skip an hour and 30 minutes or so and me and my dad are on the opposite team of the family. Now, call me a jerk, but I wanted to get the mom out as disrespectful as I could, but in a way that is deemed sportsmanlike. Now, at the paintball park, bunkering, when you shoot someone up close, was allowed and I plan to use it to my fullest extent. As I'm playing, Entitled Kid 1 and 2 are not calling a single hit and are wiping off the paint marks. I get upset and I go for the hand because being hit in the hand is one of those spots you don't want to get hit, along with your boobs, crotch, neck, and eye. Entitled Kid 1 starts crying and a referee takes him out of the match. The mom was pissed. She starts to walk towards me, and as soon as she was 20 feet away, I popped 3 in her leg and 1 on the mask. The ref pulled her out of the match and the game ended. As we're in the safe zone, Entitled Kid 2 finds GE02 and starts to fake shoot people with it. I snatched it away from him and tell him to never point guns at things. The second Entitled Kid says, "Can I use your gun, please?" I say, "No, my gun is important to me and is also very expensive. I don't want anything to happen with it." "I want to use the gun now." The sweet dad says, "Entitled Kid 2, let's go over there and look at the other matches." "No, I want to use the gun." Entitled Mother says, "Why won't you let him use the gun?" My dad says, "I just got it for him for his birthday and this is brand new and quite expensive. We just don't want to run any risk of damage." The Entitled Mother says, "Oh, come on, our guns cost $50 each. Your gun isn't expensive at all, it's just like all the others." The game was about to start, but I realized Entitled Kid 1 took my mask. HK, Army, something I forget. As I'm chasing Entitled Kid 1 around the safe zone, Entitled Kid 2 shoots me 8 times under my eye. I freaking turned around to see Entitled Mother helping her hex spawn shoot me. I snapped. Me and my dad said, "What the freak are you doing? I could have lost an eye or worse, and you just help your son do this to me? The actual freak, lady." The 2 kids start to cry, and Entitled Mother was crying too. A ref came over to see what the problem was, and Entitled Mother tried to play the victim by saying that I was framing them by rubbing paint on my face to make it look like they shot me. I swear. Sweet dad gathered up all his strength to say that his wife and son did it and that he was done with her. The cops were called by me and my dad and we pressed charges against Entitled Mother, and our court date is being decided. And yes, we gave all of our paint to Sweet Dad at the end of the day. I cannot stand somebody that has absolutely no respect for anybody else, that they're actually willing to shoot a projectile towards their eyes. One of my biggest fears personally is going blind. I couldn't imagine life without seeing. So imagining somebody intentionally trying to hit you in a place where you could have that happen to you, that upsets me big time. And I'm glad that this is going to court against her. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which story and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't, subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. No matter what you do, whether it's just viewing the video, liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, I appreciate the heck out of it. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, and I can't thank you enough for it. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll be right here next time on the Storytime channel.